This is Sonia with Artsy Solutions, and welcome to week 10 of Journal with Me. So I'm just going to use this composition notebook, which is just something that I gotten for 50 cents at a thrift shop. I haven't decorated it or anything, but I just want to do some art journaling. So I'm just going to glue some pages together just to kind of make them strong. I'm just going to use some paste. And I'm going to use some mixed media on here. And I'm just gluing these just to kind of make them stronger and thicker. Okay, so basically what I did was I glued 3 pages together like this, and then I just glued 3 pages together like that, just to kind of give it some thickness. I haven't really done a whole lot of art journaling like this. Usually my other type of journaling is, I don't know what the style is called, but it's different from this. So this is going to be more of a mixed media type deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start out with some white gesso, and I'm just going to wash the pages. Actually, I'm just going to spread this white gesso on here like this, and then I'm just dab some water on it just to kind of make it runny. And I'm going to smear it across. I'm going to take my book and smear it across the pages. And then I'm just going to take a heat gun, and then I'm just going to dry it. I'm probably going to have to do this twice in order to get the look that I'm going for, because I do want to still see some of the lines from the graph paper in here, but I also want like a solid kind of mass. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to dry it. I'm going to dry it, and then I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to do it again. Now for the second coat, I'm just going to put it, instead of using water, I'm just going to dab this paint directly into it and put it straight onto the page. Now the brush still has a little bit of water left on it from where I had put it on here earlier. And I'm going to put sort of a lot on this side, and then I'm just going to close the book and let some of this paint transfer to the other side. I don't know how well that's going to work, but we're going to see. We're just going to let it kind of smear. And then we're just going to open it back up and see what our pages look like. I like that. So I'm going to dry this. And then we're going to add some more media. Okay, so there's still some paint left on here. I don't know if you can see that or not without a glare. And I don't want to waste that. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of this blue alcohol spray. And I'm just going to spray just a little dab. Just, well, a little bit more than a dab on that one. And I'm just going to mix this paint together with it just to get that blue hue. Then I'm going to dip it into some water, just a little bit, to loosen up that paint. And I'm just going to kind of go around the upper part of this. Actually, I'm just going to go around the edges. But it being watered down, it's not going to pick up too heavy, but just enough to give it some color. I'm just going to go around both of the pages like that. And this is going to be, well, my goal is to make it somewhat like a springy, light color, fun, kind of vibrant tone. I'm just going to take some water. Let me slide this over here. I'm just going to take some water and kind of spread some of those colors around just to make them a little bit lighter and so they can blend, giving like the center an oval shape if possible. And we're creating somewhat like some frames. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry. This is what we have so far. I'm going to let that dry. And I'm just going to take a piece of, another piece of paper, and actually an index card. I have a piece of, what do I have right here? I have a piece, an index card laying around. And I'm just going to take it and I'm going to smear it on these colors. I'm going to add a little bit of water. And I'm just going to smear it on there. Smear these colors on there on both sides. That way I'm not wasting any ink. And then I can reuse these in something else, on another project. I may even use it on this one, I don't know yet. But yeah, I don't want this journal book to get too chunky because then I won't be able to fill it up the way I would like. But we'll see. Okay, so these are dry. Well, they're not dry, but I've got my ink on here. I haven't really wasted much of anything. So I'm going to dry these and clean this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so these are dry now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through. I'm going to take some of this Distress Oxide, this vintage photo. And I'm just going to kind of like brush on. Well, first I'm just going to rub some on this glass mat. And this is activated by water. So I'm going to take some of this same water right here. And just kind of dab this in it. And just kind of go around the edge of the page. And down the crevice. me back up so you can see more. Okay. I'm just kind of giving the edge some dimension, or giving the page some dimension, some color, you know, some shadow. That's the good thing about this Distress Oxide, is that the ink is activated by water, and I like that. And you can make it as light or as dark as you want. The good thing is once this is dry, you can go back over it again with another coat of brown or Vintage Distress Oxide, Vintage Photo. Okay, so I'm just going to dry that, and I'm going to come back through with another color. But before I do that, I've still got some leftover paint, so I don't think it's going to be dark enough, so I'm just going to add just a little bit more on the mat. And I'm just going to go around the edges of this. I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with these. But I do like the colors. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint on that Distress ink on both sides. And you can use a dauber. You don't have to use a brush. And you can just distress it the other way with it being dry. I just wanted to do something a little different. You use the brush. Okay, so this is dry. So now I'm just going to go around the edges with some more of this Vintage Oxide, but this way it'll be a little bit darker. And I'm just going to take the whole case and just distress the edges like this, because it gets dark quicker that way, and I like that look that it gives. I'm going to go around both of these like that. I love to have distressed edges, because to me it just brings out your papers more, and I just love that. So what I'm going to do in the middle is I'm just going to fold this over like that, and then I'm just going to kind of come on down through. That way I can get the center, and we can see some distress going on in there. Fold it a little bit more and make sure I get it good enough, because I want the distress to show on both pages in the crease. Okay. And there are options. If you feel like that's too dark, you can always just take some water. And the good thing, once again, with the Distress Oxides is you can water it down and it'll spread. The color will spread. Okay. So while that's still drying on here, I'm just going to take some stamps, some background stamps, and see what we've got here. I've gotten some stamps from a flea market, or actually not the flea market, it was Habitat for like $3. And well, actually I might not even need a stamping block. I'm just going to use the stamps. I'm going to do some in brown, like really light, and then some of them in black, just enough to kind of give it some background. Can't really see that one too well. So, let's see. Oops. Let's see how this will do again. It shows up a little bit. And I'm just going to put some up through here. And then a little bit on this side. Okay, so I'm going to take this same stamp. Well, before actually, let me wipe this off. I'm just going to, for all the ones that I'm going to do in brown, I'm going to go ahead and do some of those background stamps first. I'm going to go ahead and do my brown while I've already got it out. So, let's see. Like I said, I don't know what this text even says, so guess we'll find out, won't we? I can't really read it, but that's fine, because I just need just enough of like a background. And then I'm going to use this one. It shows a little. I think I'm going to just do these in black now, since it isn't really showing much in brown. Let me see if I can go back over top of that same image. Yeah, that shows up a little bit better. A springy kind of look to it. But we'll see how that turns out. Okay. I'm going to use this beautiful, it's a painted page by Danielle Mack. And I've had it for a little while, but I've only used it maybe once. And this is the Rise Above Cling Stamp. She has a lot of them through Stampers Anonymous. And so I want to use this one. And these has some sayings on it too. But I'm going to use the face and the butterfly. Now what I'm going to do for the face, I'm going to stamp it twice. And I think that what I'll do I'm going to be creating like a hidden pocket in here. So what I'll need to do is first let me just clip this on here. Clip this onto the page where I'm going to want my image at. And I will definitely need a stamping block for this. And I'm going to stamp her image. Let's see, what side do I want it on? I want to make sure that it's going to completely show without any of this. Something's going to end up getting covered up. I wanted her to kind of come over to the side, but actually I might put it, I'll put it like up through here. That's what I'll do. Yeah. So let me just clip this onto here. And this is going to be kind of tricky. And I'm just going to, actually, because I'm thinking in my head, let's see, let me get our black ink. Alright, this right here is just some Martha Stewart, I think it's archival ink, Kohl. Maybe you can see that or not. Here's the UPC. And, yeah, I'm going to stamp her twice. But first, yeah, I'm going to do like I said I was going to do. Let me make sure that she's stamped or inked up really well. And this is going to come down. Oh, this thing is in the way. I'm just going to have to hold this in place. So I'm just going to stamp to where her image is on top of both this card, the index card, and the paper. So now we have her. But this is going to be a tuck spot right here. So, yeah. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this for right now. And I'm going to, let's see, how wide? Let me get a piece of white cardstock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp both her and the butterfly, and I'm going to emboss them both. But I'm going to just do one at a time. So let me get my embossing powder out so I have it ready. Make sure I have her image really, really well inked up. And I'm going to be fussy cutting her out. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and ink. I'm going to go ahead and emboss her. Let me get another piece of paper for my embossing powder. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure that she's covered up with this embossing powder really, really well. And you can use black ink or black embossing powder, or I'm just using clear embossing powder. I probably should have used black, but that's fine. Okay, and see how much shinier that is, or more pronounced. So I'm getting ready to do the butterfly the same way. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this coffee, and first I'm just going to paint a little bit of it onto here. And I'm just going to take the paintbrush. Actually, I need a small, thinner brush. And I'm just going to paint on, I'm just going to add some water to it, just to kind of water it down. And we're going to paint her face. Just kind of color it in a little bit, you know, with the watercolors. And I need to have, let me put this, let me try to line this up because I need it the same color, you know what I mean? So it's not going to be the precise color, like it's not going to be completely filled in, if you know what I mean. Just enough to give it a hint of the shade of her. Because you don't want to ruin the stamped images. So that's why I'm choosing the coffee color. But that's going to be fine because a lot of it's going to get covered up anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to remove that. And I just put that on there and just because I had an idea. I don't know, but let me just go ahead and put that back right there. Spray a little more coffee. And then I'm going to take care of this one. Now this one, you can kind of go over the lines a little bit. Simply because with it having been embossed, it's fine. The colors will, they won't like fade away. An easier way would have been just to coffee dye the paper and then come back through and add highlights and stuff, but I didn't think that far ahead. And this is fine too. And then I'm just going to add some color to her hair. And I'll probably use, I'm going to add just a little dab of blue. I know that's going to look weird, but I'm going to create a color. Like a blue, brown. Fairy kind of. She's going to be kind of like a fairy. And then I'll be adding more onto the page. But I just wanted this main part right here to show the blue of her hair. Okay, so we've got that so far. I know that's not the completed image that I'm going to have. So let me add, for her lips, I'm just going to add some pink, a little bit of pink, and a little bit of red. And then for her eyes, I'm just going to use just a dab of black. Black and then some brown. Or actually, coffee color. So we're going to let that dry. And then I'm going to come back through with just a little bit more black for her eyes. Just to kind of darken it a little bit, like going around the eyeball of it. And then for her lips, let's see. I'm just going to take some of this red, Distress Oxide. I'm just going to kind of go around the edges. Just to make it a little more pronounced. And then I'm just going to spread it. I'm going to water it down and spread it. Okay, so we're going to let that alone, and then we're going to do some painting on the butterfly. So I'm going to take some of this blue that I have remaining here, and we're just going to kind of go along the edges. Cut out, so I'm going to take some Distress Oxide to them. Now for this one, I'm going to take some broken china first. And I'm going to kind of go around the edges with it, just to add some of that, to put some of that blue on up in there. And even around her face, I'm going to add just a little bit of blue. But I'm going to come back with it with some brown. But it's just to give it, make it look like a blue shadow or a blue ray. It's kind of going across her face. And I'm tempted to put some blue in her eyes, but I think I'm going to just leave that alone because I might mess it up. I'm always coming up, trying to think of little ideas on doing stuff, but sometimes they're not always the best idea. So I'm just going to go around the edges of these. Put a little bit of color in them. Uh-oh. I broke one of the antennas, but that's fine because I can glue it right back on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to glue it back on. But so then I'm gonna go back around these with the brown Distress Oxide. And then after the brown, some black Distress Oxide. And with her, I'm just going to do the bottom part, like around her face and neck with the Oxide. And I may just, I'm going to add some to her face too, just to kind of blend in those colors. I think that makes it look a little bit better. It looks more blended. Yeah, smoother. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the journal and we're going to glue her in place. So I'm just going to use some art glitter glue. Okay, so we're going to glue this on in place. I'm just going to smear some of this glue all over it so it stays down, kind of the way it would if I used paste. Just want to make sure this whole thing is flat. Alright, so I'm just going to try to line it up to where I had originally stamped it at. I want to try. I don't know if I'll get it in the exact spot or not. Okay, so this is pretty much close. And what I'm going to do before I finish decorating is I'm going to go ahead and add that pocket on. Right here. Yeah. Looks like I'm going to have to cut it down just a tad because of how low I put this. That's right. Yeah, let me put this up some. And I'm going to have to color the lips the same way I did that right there. Actually, I don't have to cut it down because it'll still fit. So yeah, let me just go ahead and I'm going to distress around these edges with some brown Distress Oxide, the same stuff I used earlier. Even though I had already used it with the water and paint, I still just want it to be a little more precise. And I have to be careful not to get this portion of it colored because, you know, I want it to blend in with the face. So let's go ahead and glue this on the two sides. And we're just going to line this up again, and then we're going to glue it on. try to paint the lip right here. Okay, and then I was going to put this over here, but I think I want to put this here. Yeah. I'm going to put this butterfly in her hair, but I need a contrasting color to make it stand out. should I put it over here? I think I might put it here. No, I think I like it better here. Yeah, I'm so indecisive. I'm gonna go ahead and glue this on, and then I'll create a contrasting color to put on there. Or not create, but I'll find a color that'll look good up against it. I may just paint on some other elements or something. So I think I will take some red and kind of go around the butterfly. We're going to see how that's going to look. Okay, so this is what we have so far. And then I need something over here, so I'm just going to draw a flower. I want to use some black. Well, not draw, but paint. And then I'm just going to paint some of this blue on here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some of this wet paint, and I'm just going to dab it on here. I'm just going to like toss it on. I want to do the same thing with the brown. And a little bit of black. Just kind of flicker it on. I think I might add just a little bit of darker shadow around this. This was supposed to have been like a brighter color thing, springy kind of deal, but sometimes what we start out with is never the same. Which is fine. Let's kind of accent this butterfly a little bit. I like that. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something. Okay, so this is where it stops. I needed like a guide to show how I'm going to have this in this pocket. And then I want some flowers kind of coming off to the side. And I'm going to be cutting this out. So I'm kind of doodle drawing, kind of, I guess if that's what you want to call it, some flowers. I'm going to cut these out and then I'm going to add a little bit of color to them. And what this is going to become is a tuck spot. Or not just a tuck spot, but I'm going to add like, it's going to be a journaling spot. That's what it'll be. So I'm just going to fussy cut all of these out. Or try to anyway. I may have to go back through with some stickers, but I just wanted to kind of give like a general idea of how I was wanting to put this on her face. Well, not on her face, but like it's going to be a tuck spot, so yeah. So I'm kind of playing this by ear, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. And like I said, I may have to just put some stickers on here if this doesn't turn out the way I'm anticipating it to. Because the goal is for it to tuck down in here like this over to the side, and then I can pick it up. But I'm probably just going to add some stickers on here because this isn't going to look right. But what I will do is just go ahead and color this coffee color. And this is going to be our journaling spot. I'll even add just a little dab of blue in there. Okay, so I'm going to need for this to be a little bit stronger than what it is. So after I distress it, I'm just simply going to add it to some more cardstock and cut it out. I'm going to glue it just to make it stronger. And then I'm going to cut it out so that it's stronger. It'll be stronger. And I don't have to worry about it tearing up. Okay, so I glued it to another piece of cardstock to make this stronger. So we're going to put this in here. And now I need something, I think I'll take some of this red. I'm going to use some of this red Bakers and Crafters alcohol ink. And I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to dab just a little bit in there, and then I'm just going to put some red circles on top of these just to kind of make it stand out a little bit. I'll add a little bit of red on this butterfly as well to make it stand out some. And then on her lips just a little bit, just to make it a little bit brighter. I'm going to add a little blue. And then I think I might just have to add like a dab of white for this to stand out. Like literally just a dab of white. And then I'm even going to dab her eyes just a little tiny bit with white. So, and we're going to add some sentiments. And I'm going to use that black ink again. And then I'm just going to take an ink pen and go around the words. So that they stand out. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos and my social media sites. And as always, I thank you guys so much for watching.